Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Brian coming to you with another Blur broadcast video where we review and discuss everything from comic books to animated movies to video games to sci-fi and all of nerd culture. So I took a little hiatus, took a little break because I'm trying to figure out the best way to release videos and a more consistent way to release videos so I can streamline everything and come out with it a little more frequently, a little more consistently. And so that's the little break that I took to figure all that out. So hopefully I'll be able to fix all that. But today I'm talking WandaVision. So I don't know if you've been under a rock or whatever the case is, but there are these two characters, Wanda Maximoff and Vision from the MCU movies. Um, Wanda Maximoff is a crazy manipulating witch ish. In the comic book, she's a mutant. In the movies, she's a science experiment, pretty much. Vision is an android who essentially gets built. In the movies, he gets built by Tony Stark. In the comic book, he gets built by Hank Pym, if I'm not mistaken. So what happens is they kind of fall in love, I guess. They make some whatever chicken cacciatore in the kitchen in the MCU or whatever they're making. And then they fall in love and they start like being in love with each other. And the WandaVision show is essentially the spin-off of their relationship, kind of sorta, and it goes into them personally and the whole nine. So that's kind of where that's kind of what WandaVision is. Like that's the shittiest recap ever, but it is what it is. So first of all, let me say that I really, when I first even heard of WandaVision, I can't say I was excited for the show. Cause I mean, Wanda Maximoff or Scarlet Witch and Vision aren't necessarily my favorite characters. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, I saw it. I was like, okay, cool. But I wasn't really like, I don't know, I wasn't really amped for it. So that's first and foremost. And then I was holding on to the Disney Plus subscription uh, just because I was like, oh, well, Marvel stuff is coming out too. So I'll just hold on to it, whatever. But after all the trailers and stuff dropped and I was able to see a little bit more into what it's going to be about and stuff like that, I got real excited. So, and the fact that I was super thirsty for any kind of MCU content in general. So in case you really want to watch the show and you haven't been up to speed yet, I think it's on episode 5 right now. So I'm definitely about to drop some spoilers in case you haven't watched it. Go watch WandaVision, come back, watch this video. So, as of right now, in the beginning, it starts out as like a really old black and white sitcom, and you see Scarlet Witch or you see Wanda and Vision. They're just pretty much living their life. They got like a little laugh track in the background to very cheesy jokes and stuff like that, and it's a little outdated, and it is what it is. And they build up there. You can just see them like living their lives in this little town, and you don't really know what's going on, but you're trying to figure it out. And then over time, and then like the next episode, there is incorporated there's little bits and pieces as you're going along in the show. Like like I said, they're showing their lives, and then over time, it shows them kind of breaking away from the sitcom or breaking the fourth wall of that sitcom, I guess, and you kind of start learning what is happening in the show. Like for example, there's the sword symbol for the for sword. It's like you see it in various places, and there's little commercials and stuff like that in the show. And Vision has little like not a glitch, but he has like little certain moments where he is like, what is happening? This is very weird. So he doesn't know what's happening, but Wanda is controlling everything. And as of episode 5 right now, he is very much so, he's further realizing how much Wanda is controlling the world that they currently live in. And she even manufactures 2 children, and then they grow up and all kind of stuff. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on in the show. And right now it's at the point where Vision is starting to see through the little veil that she's created, sort of, so to speak. So that's what happened. That's so far. And it's kind of weird because I remember when the show first came out, and I understand that it's not the black and white TV isn't the most exciting thing on the planet. I get that part, but I didn't really understand fans because apparently they thought the show was really slow, and I don't understand why they say it's slow because that's just how shows and good storytelling and building up to ideas and suspenseful things, that's how they work. So it was kind of weird because even I ran across an article. What was it? It was we got it covered.com. We got this covered.com. It says the internet's calling out WandaVision for being too boring. And it's crazy because like throughout the internet on Twitter and friends and stuff like that, I saw people saying, well, yeah, WandaVision is boring. And I'm like, how is it boring if you are paying attention and you know it? Because I watched every episode and I'm watching it like, oh man, well that's a sword symbol. Oh man, that commercial is like a hint to Hydra, or you're trying to figure out what's going on. And if you're doing that, and if you're paying attention, how can you be bored? I don't understand how you can be bored. So in this article, it says, um, so naturally, it was the first thing on a lot of people's minds when they woke up this morning, but based on some of the early reactions, they didn't get exactly what they were expecting. Within the opening minutes of WandaVision, it becomes clear that this is uncharted territory for the MCU and completely different to anything Kevin Feige's outfit has made in the past. As such, some fans appear to be disappointed that it isn't a straightforward superhero show. Duh, like okay. Uh, and instead of a very instead and is instead a very bizarre and often unsettling black and white creation of classic sitcoms from the past, complete with a laugh track. Okay, but you knew that kind of going in because you saw trailers and you saw things, little look snippets from the show, and even so, like I said, I wasn't excited about it initially, but as soon as you get into the show, you are kind of weirded out. You're like, oh, that's strange. But weird stuff happens from the beginning. It starts happening out in the beginning. You just start having questions. If you're watching the show with any kind of anticipation or knowing anything about these two characters or knowing anything about how they've been putting together MCU stuff for the past decade, you are watching at like the edge of your seat because you're like, where is this gonna go? Like even me myself, I'm like, okay, if I know, they even said that WandaVision is supposed to kind of lead into Doctor Strange 2. So I'm like, okay, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, where is this going to go? How is Doctor Strange going to be incorporated? I'm waiting, I'm watching, and I'm like, the only thing that fans would have accepted is if Thanos busted in like the Kool-Aid Man and was like, oh yeah, they would have been like, wow, and that's the thing that's killing me because people forgot what good storytelling is and like what a good show is or what good TV is or what good entertainment is. You have to build up to these things. That junk is crazy. People were saying, let's see, what is this dude? At Scott Porch, one sentence, WandaVision review. The first two episodes are the most boring hour of the MCU released to date. Like that's crazy. I mean, that's kind of crazy because like I get it. It's not, you know, Avengers Endgame level excitement, but okay, it's still building up to a story. This is a new story that they're creating. So that's like saying that Captain America First Avenger, that the basic training scenes in the movie are boring. That doesn't make any sense. You have to show those scenes in order to show what you're trying to build up to. So that's crazy. Um this dude right here, WandaVision is not for me. I love Wanda and Vision, but I'm not sitting through and watching each episode as a parody of each decade. It's boring, not funny, and it doesn't even pull you in. If you're an MCU stan, and congrats to you got an MCU show, but for fans, I'd say wait a bit. What do you mean wait a bit? Wait a bit for what though? Like, are you waiting for the end? That doesn't make any sense. You can't wait for the end. You have to watch to see how the thing builds up. WandaVision is so incredibly boring, but the last like 15 seconds of each episode will probably make me keep watching it. Hopefully these first two were just not good. A lot 10 minutes into WandaVision, and it's the most boring thing I've ever seen. That, like I said, it's crazy how people forgot to watch TV because they're so hyped up on the MCU crack where they can't even break away to be like, hey, okay, cool. This is how stories are supposed to be built. That's like if they cut out the whole cave part of Iron Man in the first movie. that doesn't make any sense. You have to build up to these things. Or like the scene where he's showing off the weapons to the military and he's like, I'm Stark Industries. That part isn't boring. It's leading up. It's the beginning of the story. So, like I said, it's real weird. People have been acting real strange lately. Or you know what? Let's just say they've been acting real weird with this WandaVision thing. I'm hoping that they don't do that with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because or maybe you know what? Maybe WandaVision kind of got them used to regular a slow build or a slow burn or stuff like that. But I've liked it so far. I guarantee. I mean, I understand that it hasn't been crazy. It hasn't been in game level of excitement, but even in Endgame, there's that part where the Captain America is sitting in that meeting with all those people. That's not exciting. It's just normal, it's normal movie building. Or that part where Tony Stark is at his cabin with his family and they're like trying to figure out, and they're talking to the other Avengers, talking about trying to figure out how to get the stones and stuff like that. That part isn't the most exciting thing on earth, but it builds up. So I don't know, but I might be tripping. Let me know if I'm tripping. So also like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'm gonna be getting out more videos a little more consistently. Don't forget to follow me on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I even created a Minds account, and subscribe to the Twitch and YouTube channel because I also game, and that's how we're doing it. I'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.